So by the time I got to the hospital, my daughter was still alive.
She could talk with you.
No, she could not talk with me because she was so traumatized. She has gone through so many pains. She has had so many fractures. And I could see her, you see your Peking. Oh shit. No. I don't wish anybody to see what I saw. Shit. I don't want you to feel bad, but I just want you to understand how I feel. It's nothing bad about it. Oh shit. Yeah, oh shit. Oh shit. Oh.
Our guest, Mr. JB Teveshima. You're welcome to House of Utterance.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Thank you so much.
When we had the introduction with you, and when I heard a bit of what your story was and what your story is, I believe that story is changing. God is still going to do His work. I had to start researching around what must have been the emotions that you had to pull through.
You see, life has its own way of getting away with things, and it depends on how you do and what you do and who you are. God has taught me a lot of lessons, and I feel that it's a privilege because this is going around and people will learn from us.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate your kindness and for you to come on board, for me to express myself, which I really appreciate you for that. Life is like a razor blade. People don't know. If you have opportunity of having everything, then you have to respect everything. Life is something else. I have gone through a lot, and I wish that people understand that there's nothing in this life, just nothing. No matter what you acquire, no matter where you are, no matter the places that you are, there's nothing in this life. No matter the exotic cars that you drive, no matter the house that you live in, there's nothing in this life. Life is the remedies. That is remedies. What you leave behind. That is what locally it is saying. Good name is better than riches. You can have a lot of money, but when you are dead, nobody talks about you. I personally ask you guys to come here because I have a memory in this place. A day after, with my family, catching cruise in this place, they died the next day.
And when you say your family, like, can you elaborate? Your wife, your kids?
Yes, I lost my wife, my lovely wife, and 3 kids. Yeah, in a ghastly motor accident. I bought some toys for them because we went to the market, and because the house we don't have enough space, and my children said, "Daddy, today is Suya Day." I said, "Okay, no problem." We went to Yahoo, we got Suya, and then we came to this garden. Over there was a tree there, but it's cut off by the owner of the garden. I wanted them to test what I bought for them, and I was so excited, and then the next day they died. So when I say I lost my wife and 3 children in a motor accident. They were going to Makurdi to visit my mom, and eventually death caught up with them. I've gone through a lot in this life, and I understand life perfectly. And I want people, especially people who are married and have wives in their house, I want them to listen to me and know that living with your wife is another school. Graduating from that school is another thing. There are so many married men with wives in their house, but they have not graduated in the school of marriage. Because by the time you are married to your wife and you guys understand yourself and you know each other, you start counting faults. No. Develop from the faults. I had a listening woman. and that is why it is hard for me. These 4 years, I've not gotten married. I've not gotten married. My wife left me here in this garden. We went home. The next day, I was on duty at my workplace. So I took them because my wife is a fashion designer. So she imported a lot of things that she wanted to use during Christmas because that was September. So she was preparatory to her job before time. So it was, she had a lot of luggages. So we went to Benelings Park, where we went to get a small bus that she can. So when we got there wasn't a small bus. So I was driving them out with my friend who was carrying their luggage in his car. When we met an elder in my church, Brown was a very social guy. So when my children saw him, Uncle Brown, and then when I saw Brown, I said, leave your wife now, she are there and I will carry your wife. And that is how I left my wife and Brown. Wow. Even though my wife told me that no, she didn't see the vehicles that she wanted. But when Brown came, I saw him and I was comfortable because it was as good as I'm the one traveling with my family.
Yeah.
So,
was it Mr. Brown that took them on that journey?
Yeah.
Did he make it out of the journey?
No, he died.
Wow, that means
he died and his wife lost the pregnancy.
Okay, his wife too was in the vehicle.
No. The wife came to the accident scene because while I was in Nasarawa trying to trace my family, nobody told me about this accident. Their spirit came to me.
Wow.
And I was seated somewhere there. You see where there's the green roof?
Yes.
There were round houses in that place.
Yes, sir.
There were thatch houses. So on a Sunday, I came to work, and around central area here, people don't sell food Sundays.
Yes, sir.
So I came to this place to eat food. And eventually I told my brother Joe, the one that I called that kid was uncle. I said, Joe, my family is dead. He said, no, bro, you can't say this. I said, I'm feeling that my family is dead.
Did you get a call?
Nobody called me. I just saw them dead. Nobody called me. And because they were not understanding me, I decided to pull out. And I told Joe, okay, here we just call Benelings Park.
Yeah.
And our family, Benelings didn't give us a
full story.
No. And because of that, I decided, okay, now, I have a boss. His name is Mr. Neka. I called him on, before then, I went back to the office. Because I was on duty with Mr. Edward. So I told Mr. Edward that, Mr. Edward, I think that my family is dead.
Wow.
And Mr. Edward said, Jembe! What kind of nonsense is this? I said, Oga, please. I'm feeling that my wife is dead and my children.
Wow.
So he tried to shut me up because he's more older than me, and
yes,
my children were actually more older than his children.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to wish me in that.
Yes.
He didn't want to, so he tried to push me, but at a point I now called Mr. Neka. I said, Mr. Neka, the way I'm feeling now, I don't understand how I'm feeling, but I feel that my family is dead because I was living in the same house with my Neka.
Yes, sir.
And we slept together. My children left the house. Mr. Neka is from Akwa Ibom. So Neka said, let me have my bag. I said, if you have your bags, you cannot meet me. Please. I'm feeling that my family is dead.
Was this a day after or same day?
Some few hours
after they left.
In fact, some few minutes after the death, I got the signal. When I was, I was traveling to Lagos. So when I got to the airport, that's the reason why I couldn't take them. So when I got to the airport, they cancelled the flight. So on my way back, it was raining, and the boss that I was supposed to travel with engaged me in a conversation. So when my wife called me, I couldn't pick up the phone because I wanted to respect the person that I was with. and you feel that I will call her back. And then of course that time she was calling me was the time she was experiencing all the somersaulting or all the whatsoever. That was the time she was calling me. And I gave this man his attention till we got to the office. By the time we got to his hotel where he was staying, by the time we got there and I called my wife, it was not reachable. So I came straight to this guy to eat something because I didn't travel again. Let me just feel cool, Hey, do you have an away there? So I met him. So in the process was when I started telling you that he never believed me. So when Mr. Neka met me, he was coming with his wife. And I told him that you can't travel with your wife. He said, why? I said, I feel that we are carrying dead bodies.
Wow.
So if your wife will be an instruction.
Wow.
He said, how do you? I said, no.
Wow.
I just feel that I nearly called a slap from my friends because they didn't understand me. Even me, I didn't understand myself, but what I was seeing was different from what people see. As in, now I know that human being can be in a different form alone. Now I know. I can be with you now like I'm a beast, you don't know. That day, I was in a different spirit. That is why I chose this place. Because this place brings a lot of memories to me. So, I will this filling station that is in area 11 near Aishafa. No, Aishafa. Yeah, Aishafa. Yeah, it was just newly built that time. So that is where I asked them to meet me, because that time our office was still in Reverse House. So when they met me, I discharged the wife there. And this guy never believed me. So why are you gonna talk like this about your family? So he said, okay, let's call Matthew. Matthew is our colleague in Nasarawa.
Yes, sir.
He said, Matthew, Mr. Jebe is suspecting that the family has accident. So please, can you help us check? So Matthew said, I'm waiting for a meeting, and it's the end of the year, I'm the clinical secretary, I need to do that. Mr. Neka said, to forget about that meeting.
Wow.
Help us check. He said, this place where you're telling us is like a 45 minutes drive. Mr. Neka said, help us check. Because Aneka now is superior.
Yeah.
Do you know that Matthew got to, as he was coming, he was asking questions. And then he got to Nasarawa and asked that there's an accident and the people, they say yes.
Wow.
And the unfortunate thing is that hospitals were on strike.
Oh my God.
Government hospitals. My wife was broken into pieces. My son was broken into pieces. My daughter, Beauty, waited for me.
Wow.
Do you know when Matthew got to that place? Matthew now, he knows my children. So he identified, because there were a lot of dead bodies lying down. So some were alive, but because there was nobody to check and see if, that kind of thing. So Matthew now identified, Beauty.
Oh my God.
And then Matthew said, as we were driving with Aneka and coming, Matthew didn't know I was with Aneka. So he now called Aneka and said, hello sir, I just got to that place. Jebe's wife is dead with the children. But I just discovered that the daughter is still shaking, but she's lying down among dead bodies. Please don't tell him. And the phone was on speaker. And the only thing I told Aneka, I said, you see what I told you? I told you that my family, there's something wrong. Do you know, even Matthew said, if you cannot treat this child, give her a drip. Let me know that something is running into her vein. Matthew had to go to the market, buy drip from chemist or pharmacy or whatever. Came to the hospital, and because they was strike, so by the time I got to the hospital, my daughter was still alive.
She could talk with you?
No, she could not talk with me because she was so traumatized. She has gone through so many pains. She has had so many fractures. And I could see her, you see your pikin. Oh shit. No. I don't wish anybody to see what I saw. Shit. I don't want you to feel bad, but I just want you to understand how I feel. It's nothing bad about it. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh. Oh shit. You shit. Oh shit. You see, when I told you to respect your wife, I knew what I was telling you. I knew. Sometimes because you are living with your wife, you will not know her value. But like every other side chick or that is coming on, would like to impress you. That is not who they are. Because you also get to know their bad side when you are with your wife. You guys get to know each other, so everything is exposed. So you as a man, you need to know how to handle her. She's so precious. Guy, I have suffered. I respect my wife. Anyway, that she's. Let her just forgive me first. Forgive me. God, I saw my wife broken. Broken. Shit. I saw my children broken. It was so grass. Just imagine you see your wife and children just broken. You can't join them back. You can't join them back. You can't. Oh shit. I was so angry. So before I got there, Brown's wife was already there. So that my daughter that was still alive, they offered to put her at the back seat of their car so that we can drive her to any possible hospital, because that hospital was on strike. But I don't know what came after me. I just felt that let me be with my daughter, because she's so close to me. So I just felt that let me just be with my daughter. So I went to the market. I asked they now show me one malam that is selling cattle, because there was no clutches, and there was no witch. I don't know this stuff. How do you call it? Stretcher. There was no stretcher, so I needed something to keep her steady. So I went into the market and I looked for the malam that is selling cattle like this. So I bought cattle and came and made a stretcher. So when I came back, I started carrying my first child. I carried Mote. Mote was 3 years. I carried Mote because she was dead and broken also into pieces. So I just carried her and laid her down in the back seat, and then I now carry Beauty and also lay Beauty on top of Mote. Then I also carry Junior. I raised Junior on top of Mote. So when I wanted to carry my wife, it was impossible for me to carry my wife. So other people now carry me. So I put my wife in the car. My friend guy was just looking at me. He didn't know what to say. So my mom, the height. So her legs were outside, and with a noise, I just banged the door. So I nigga say he's going to drive. So he came into the car and. He came into the car and he couldn't drive. Yeah. So he now went outside. I said, no, give me the key to drive, but he tried to be able. I said, okay, he started the car. So what happened? What happened? What happened? Let me see. Okay, when you start the car, I say okay, on the air condition, because I believe that if they on the air condition, they are going to, it's going to be chill, so they will come back. We on the air condition. I don't know how the police got the information, but every police checkpoint was just giving us go. When we on our lights and they see inside our car, they will just say go, 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 go. So my mom and my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is a great woman. I respect her so much. I now call my mother-in-law. I now call my mom and I say, my wife is coming back home, but I think they had accident. So I came to rescue them. So I am bringing them back. So they should meet me at BSU Teaching Hospital. That time, that my daughter was not dead though.
As at that time?
Yes.
Wow.
I called my auntie who worked with the teaching hospital. But because I called her in the night, maybe she was sleeping and all that, and she was retired from that hospital. She didn't tell me that she's retired. And the hospital actually was also on strike. I drove my daughter to Makurdi.
That's from Nasarawa?
Yes, she was still alive. We took her out from the car to the teaching hospital. She was still alive. That was when we knew that the hospital. When I was calling my auntie now, she was not being helped. When we took her inside, this hospital is on strike, because the referral letter that was given to me, was for a government hospital. So I was looking for a government hospital. But before I got to Makurdi, was where my brothers that heard the story were already waiting for me at the toll gate.
Wow.
Because they were communicating with me. So when we got to teaching hospital, we said, no, let's go to Madonna, or let's leave this matter. So by the time
at the teaching hospital?
Yeah, there was no medical attention, bro. Hospitals were on strike. So when we got to Madonna and they called the doctor, my daughter was on a stretcher. That was when she died. So, and when you are traveling to Benue, now roads are better because with the advocacy and then with the spirit that God has built us in and has touched the government has been able to, if you are going to Benue, you enjoy the road. If you pass where my family had accident, you will not even know, because I came there. My daughter was always, I didn't see the accident scene. I only went to the mortuary where they were rushed to.
Okay.
By the time I got to the accident scene, it was in the night. So I only went to the hospital, and then my daughter always keep disturbing me of her eyeglasses because she had a very special eyeglass. So anytime I sleep, for 8 months after that I couldn't sleep. Daddy my eyeglass. So there was this day I decided to drive to the accident scene. I went there, I met the community leader. I told him my family had accident. They were so sympathetic of me, and I said I want to check it out. I want to know the place. When they took me to that place, it was a ditch.
Oh my God!
Do you know what happened? It's not the fault of the driver. The truck that was coming entered a gallop and detached the bucket. As of the time my family was, so the bucket went off the road and crushed them into the ditch. And the bucket was still like the ditch is, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So now, that was the time they were still crying for help.
Wow. And it was at night.
It wasn't at night yet. It wasn't at night yet. But when I got there, it was already 6 o'clock. Night has started for me. Yeah. So the trucks that were coming, it's a small road. Nasarawa Egom road. It's not a dual carriage. So there was a lot of hold up on that road. Because when I called the company that she was traveling with, they said they are getting in touch with the road safety from that Nasarawa Egom. The road safety man that I was talking to told me that there's a lot of traffic and there's a lot of noise and there's a lot that he needs to control. It is true that there's a Benelux vehicle that had accident here, but we cannot tell you the state of the people. We are trying to see how we can evacuate them. That was when I knew that I needed to start traveling. This is like 2.5 3 hours away from where we are.
Yeah.
So if I moved here like 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, you should know when I'm.
At least past 8.
That kind of thing. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I say it was already late. Yeah, because it's a little bit far from here. So I lost everything. My wife. You see, people don't understand life. God Almighty, leave it. Anytime my children come to the office, my superiors, you started early. And they feel like, that kind of thing. And my bosses, their children, small children, that kind of thing. And then my younger brother again, and my sister again, the children will always be reporting to me that, David is beating me, that kind of. Now God has reduced me to the last level. I am starting afresh. I am not married. I don't have a child. If I get married now, my younger brother and the 2 sisters, their children are already grown. It's as if I have. So I tell people that are married that please, marriage is also an institution. You need to pass your class. You as the husband, you have responsibility. I have been fortunate to have a wife that listened to me. And it's difficult for me to have that kind of woman now. Everyone has her own objective, So my wife will learn from I will learn from my mistake, and my wife will learn from her mistake. I was working with the local government, and our governor that time was Gabriel Suson. Had a lot of challenges. People were accusing him wrongly. He was a great man, so people wanted to discredit him. They started talking about forgery things and all that. So there was this proposal. There was this write-up that we wrote, and then the commissioner of information that time, Conrad Weber, now called me, and I came and I met him, and I said, how did you get together? I said, no, I feel. I said, oh, that's perfect. Work with me. So I started working with the commissioner, and I told him I work with the local government. He said, is it not the same government? I said, okay. So the commissioner, sometimes these people, they don't come back early at home. So my wife is somebody that I come back 4:30, 5 o'clock, and we're down. I started coming here 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and so there was this day I came back, and my wife threw my things under the house. In fact, I didn't even know that they were my things, because my house is close to Urukum. Urukum is where we have all the parks.
Yeah.
So people travel from villages, they come sleep in our house, travel very early in the morning, going to Lagos, Port Harcourt, and all that. So we've been having visitors coming to our house. So when I saw those Ghana, I said, maybe we'll have visitors, but I just, Mona is my Kaya. I was waiting for an appointment later for me to surprise my wife. But because I was coming back late, she decided to tell me that I'm the one to evacuate you in this house. This is my house. I wanted to make serious trouble, because who the hell are you? Carry my things, put for Ghana, like this. Then the spirit came in me. I just saw my dad. Say, guy, this woman don't like you. Now her guy, she go come and go. Share like your guy. Who made you want to stay? That was the thought. You understand? That was the thought. So I said, this woman loved me. So I went out and I told Daniel, I said, I get a problem with this your guy because Daniel is working with that commissioner. So I said, this your guy, this work, I don't even know. I don't, no, how many days I'm having a problem with my wife. He said, no, bro, I will help you. That is exactly what. So it's good to talk out.
Yeah.
When you talk out, you feel relief. When you talk out, I want to share my experience with people. Let people know that what they have in their house is so valued that if they lose it, like you see this, your wife, you are in doom. Everything about you is finished when you lose her. It will drag you back to washing up plates, washing up your clothes, ironing your clothes. Even you don't go back and go buy okra, or except maybe you want to eat in a restaurant. Especially when you are used to that reception, to drag you back. So I encourage all my friends, please hold your family tight
together.
And do you know what is keeping me on? The sweet memories that I'm telling you about. If my wife was one kind of woman that is giving me attitude, I won't talk about her like this. Or no, I won't talk about her like this. This is a woman that never complained to me. Although she always finds time, or she always have her way of showing me her reaction.
Yeah. Can you describe a scenario? Somebody might be able to learn, because sometimes the approach that people take in dispute resolution in marriages may necessarily not be the right approach. So what is it that your wife did differently in communicating some of the downsides to you in a different way than is popular these days, people shouting on each other on social media?
Let me be romantic in this way, because I want to enjoy the memory. So let me be very romantic. Very, very romantic. And I want to come out, I want to say something. Let me be romantic. Okay, for example now, he came back home, your food was served. My wife is the one who taught me how to bath with warm water.
Wow.
Yes. I've never had a bath with warm water, or maybe you want to give me palayam, or you give me warm water to wash my hands, they just give you water, like you will check your hand, this water, that is that kind of woman. So you come back home, they give you warm water, you wash your hands, special meal, you eat your food and all that, and then you go to the bed. You try to touch her, she's not responding. You try to touch her, she's not responding. It's not as if she's resisting, but she's not in the mood, but she wants you to get to the mood. Now what happened? So instead of nagging, then I don't like what you did. This is what you did to me. I'm not supposed to, in that particular mood, then you are supposed to tell her your mind. Oh, babe, I'm sorry. So she has never had issue when she will wait for me when I want enter. Then she will say, guy, for this reason, that this is what you have done. This is what you have done. This is what you have done. I feel that there's no love. So for that reason, you cannot enter. Then I will now come down. I say, sorry, I don't know anything like this. I forgot. I'm sorry. You understand? And because of what she gave to me, it was difficult for me to have a relationship, extramarital relationship. It was difficult for me. So I tried to have, because these girls now, they will be doing something. So sometimes I was disgracing myself, because the memories of the feelings always come back to me. I also advise women. I say, please tolerate your husband. Your husband can be going to excesses, but always stand by him because he will always come back. For that reason, give him benefit of doubt. You know, my wife respected my feelings. I will carry baby. When I reach there, I don't go rise. Because maybe she's trying to they're trying to form one level, when you carry baby for the first time, she'll be, trying to entice. How come be the reason how waiting my wife they give you? She supposed to drop something. You're supposed to be free now. Why So I don't know, but I am emotional when it comes to relationship. When it comes to love, I am very, very emotional. Very, very. If I know that you have slept with a woman, I cannot go for that woman. I don't want to know who slept with her. Once I know that this person slept with this woman, honestly speaking, it will demoralize me. So I stick to where I am. So I stood with my wife, and then my wife would tell me some kind of things because I married my wife when she just finished her secondary school. I knew my wife when I was in the secondary school in Zaria. So I was coming to visit Professor Uza, who was the director for Nigerian Livestock in Malali, in Kaduna. So my mother-in-law works with Federal Ministry of Agric. I was staying just by the. So that was when I knew. So when I came, the gate man said, some people they here. So I was always going there. Anytime I go there, she gives me food. So when I finished my secondary school, I never saw her. So my father had a transport company that I was managing. Yes. So she now got admission in Queens of the Roses Secondary School. JSS Boko. Yes. So she was traveling, and then I was in the park. And then she saw me and recognized me because the brother had a wound, and this kind of tone, and that flesh hit it. Yeah. And then because there were ladies in the house, they were afraid to cut it off. So when I went for weekend at my uncle's house, I cut the flesh off. So in my place they call it boom. So they call me old boom. So I thought I old boom. So when I turned back, I saw it's so beautiful. Wow. So beautiful, grown up, so beautiful. Because of her, but I just have to travel.
You enter the bus.
That's how they go. I don't know how they find myself. So I took her to the school every, and I was visiting her, but she was sneaking and visiting me as she's visiting her uncle.
Yeah.
And something. Even my mother-in-law did not believe what happened, because that was not the reason why she was sent to training. But the day my mother-in-law believed me was the first time when she came, because my wife has gone through a lot too. Because I'm borrowed, as a garage boy. Yeah. They didn't know that I own that company.
Yeah.
So as a garage boy now, that kind of garage boy, that kind of life, tout. Look at me as a tout. The day my mother-in-law believed me was when she came to my house and my wife was sleeping and I was cooking.
Wow.
Because my children, they love my cooking, because my own everything is inside. Goat meat or cow meat or fish or everything. When I go to the market, I buy everything. Crayfish or that kind of thing. Yeah. Big pot for them. So that rice, white rice, beans, anything you want to take to school, yam, mixed stew, big stew. I don't want my mommy to cook for us, I want my daddy, because everything is inside, egg, everything. So my mother-in-law came to my house. She came inside, I greeted her. She was reluctant. I dropped her in the parlor. I gave her some drinks. She was waiting, and for some time the daughter didn't come to us. And then I also locked the door, but she was perceiving because the soup was so, that kind of thing. So she came into the kitchen. So when she came, she discovered that I was the one cooking. He said, are you the one cooking? I said, yes. He said, where's your wife? I said, she's sleeping. He said, your wife is sleeping, you are cooking.
Very untraditional.
I said, yes, she's sleeping. I said, please. So she said, no. Maybe she went. I said, enter the room now. She went inside and discovered that the daughter was sleeping. That was the day she agreed with me.
Wow.
I've always had issues with her. After having 2 children with my daughter, I've always had issues with her because of the impression that was created. Yeah. So that day, that woman told me that, you're my first child.
Wow.
From today onward, this is what I have heard, this is what I have heard, and with what I have seen. So, my mother-in-law lost the daughter and grandchildren. My mother only lost grandchildren. So, what my mother-in-law has gone through is more than what my mom has gone through. Because I am her child and I'm still alive. But my grandmother lost the daughter and the grandchildren. For that reason, I refuse to cry. Because if I cry now, my mother will go down. My mother-in-law will go down. So I stood by them like nothing happened. But I have a lot of respect for my mother-in-law because she raised a good daughter.
Wow. But something else that comes to mind for me personally is because it's been 4 years for you, 4 years down the line. I know that one way or the other you may have met certain ladies, maybe in a bid to see how you can maybe restart another family. Because even if we look at the story of Job in the Bible, when the devil took everything, and there was still a point where he had to start over. Have you been in any start over process, and how has it been basically?
See, when I lost my wife, I had more than 4,000 girlfriends. All of this social media, nobody needs to give you can chat me on Messenger, Facebook, hey sir, how are you? I don't know how you're feeling, but if there's anything I can, that's something. The wife that you have in the house is different from the girl that you're looking for. You will never know the character of any girl until she's close to you. You will not know if your wife is a cheat. Do you know that I even discovered when, anyway, I don't want to say that, but the woman is difficult. This is 4 years. This is 4 years. These 4 years, and of course, if I have a child that is supposed to be 4 years old, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the relationship that I have built over time with my wife is difficult. You have a woman that when you have issues with her, you resolve. She forgives you.
Yeah.
She doesn't hold it against you. But the woman you have now, if you have a problem with a woman, she holds it against you. She's always waiting for you. You understand, bro?
She may even tell you the color of shirt you want.
Every little thing you understand? That is the kind of women that I meet now. That is not the kind of women that I am. And then the ones that are giving me so much love are the ones that cannot give me children.
How do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is that the age limit.
Okay. I get it.
I should be getting married to a woman who is maybe 29, 30, 35.
Yeah.
But those ones gives me attitude. And then the ones that don't give me attitude are like 50, 55, 60. Which I don't belong in that category.
Yes.
But I still appreciate them because of who they are and their kindness and from their experience.
Yes, sir.
They have gone through a lot of experiences, but it's very unfortunate that I'm not the kind of their guy because I cannot adopt. I cannot go to orphanage homes. I cannot. I want there's a feeling when I told you that I lost my family and nobody called me. That's to tell you that there was a feeling. There was an internal feeling. You will never experience it unless you get past through it. If you lost a child, there's this petrolment. There's something that's going to pierce into your body. You can feel like you are cut down into pieces and you're journeying back.
Is there a difference between losing a wife and losing a child in terms of the emotions around it?
Anyway, I have lost a wife and children.
Yes,
That is my experience. So let me talk about it. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because of the love that my wife showed me. The way she stood by me, she grew under my nose. I married her when she was finishing her secondary school. I saw her through the colleges of educations and the universities. So she grew up with me eventually. So she was just like my child. I was older than her. And then she learned from me and learned how to live with me. When I started having issues with her, like some months after my marriage, and she wanted to report me to my mother, I told her that the day you report me to my mother is the day that you will get a problem. Because if I have problem with you and you want to report me to my mother alone, my mother will support me because I am her child. They will not look at you as a woman who is complaining too much. So for that reason, learn how to get your respect. And she understood me, but so she was always punishing me like what I told you before.
Yeah.
She will wait for me. When I come back, she will give me food, give me everything. But the excitement of intimacy will not be there. She's ready to make love to me, but she will not give me that particular swag. She will not make, just reluctant, like I'm raping somebody. Love, they talk.
And you want the full condiments.
I used to remember when, let me just say it too, because I want people to know. When I got a house in Jabi, so I was paying for the house, and that was one of the reasons why my wife decided to relocate back to Benue, because she told me that this house is very expensive. This is about 11 years ago. That house was 18 million, so it was expensive. So she said, guy, this is your salary and all, but I have a talent. So, and I have been moving around like this. Is the highest is 350,000 to rent a shop. So I don't think I can pay 350,000. With this 350,000, let me buy those machines. We have a big place. So I will relocate to Benue so that I can help you pay for this house. So when we have the house, we can decide to use the house for the shop. We can be living in one room and then using the whole place for shop. And then life goes on. So I was so excited. So she moved and met my mom in Benue, and she was helping me pay for this house. And she was helping me pay for this house. So at a point when I lost her, I just decided that this house, I don't think I can get anyone in that house. Let her come and feel like this guy get house, you want to claim house. I know. This house is a service apartment. I can always sleep in that house. It's not my house. The house can be written on her name, but that's not my house. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because for a woman to leave you and stay far away from you because she wants to support you for a particular project, not minding that you are looking for women, you are going about women, it means that woman is ready to stay. For a woman to try to put bills, to sort out your bills, it means that woman is ready to stay. Most of the women that we meet these days, we sort the bills, right? We pay their bills. As you are sitting with me here now, if God bless you with a woman that sort your bills, then you should know that she's exceptional. Don't undermine her. She was paying for this house. I gave her the cooperative account number, and the cooperative manager will call me. Your wife paid this, or your wife paid this. So at the point, I wasn't paying again because she was paying more than enough.
Wow.
Now I have this house, and the ladies want me. I know it's not possible. So trust is very important in a relationship. But before you trust, you understand yourself. understanding is difficult. When the trust is broken, it can be amended, because there are two different people coming together to live. You have a different background, she has a different background. So you come together, and then from your lapses you adjust to be who you want to be. But at this age now, when you make mistakes, they are counted against you. That is why it's hard for me to get married.
I still feel that because somebody used to say something, I don't know how true it is, and the person is like, there is more than one person for somebody per time. Although when you are married, you now stick to one individual and stay faithful to that person for the rest of your lives. What I feel basically is, I still believe there is someone out there for you. That's if you are interested, because I wanted to ask you, like, how have you necessarily dealt with, the pain? Is it, I know that it's a pain that can never go, because when you were talking, I could feel it. And for me, I have the closest person to me that I've lost is an uncle. And I still, it looks far, but it's very, very close because of the relationship that I shared with him. And there's no week that I don't think about him. But I believe that you still have so much ahead of you. You are a young person by any standard. You are athletic, you are into sports, you go to the gym, you are fit, you are strong. Mentally, you are up on your game. And I know that God has blessed you. And I still feel that you should be on the path to still engaging, if that's really what you desire.
Let me tell you something. Somebody called me on the phone.
Yes, sir.
The woman is older than me, because she had children that are like me. And I never knew the father was alive. So she just called me on the phone. Tabe, Nana, so that the father died. That was last week, when I have lost my father 23 years ago. I have also lost my children. And at your age with just your children, you are calling me to tell me that your father is dead. Are you not lucky? Your father is dying in 2023 when my father was died. Do you know what I went through? I was not your age. And then you are calling me to tell me that your wife is dead when I have lost my wife and children. Or you tell me that your child is dead. Life is all about experience. If you judge yourself to what happened to you, you cannot go far.
Yeah.
You need to look into what people have gone through to be able to adjust yourself. We live in the life of, how will I even say it? We live in expectations, a hope.
Yes.
Yeah, we live in the life of hope. I wish to have this. I wish to have that. Oh, he's driving I would love to have this car. So it gives us the courage to live again. But it's more to life than that. If you see what people go through, you appreciate what God has done to you. Look at you now, you are telling me that the closest person that you have lost so far is your uncle. Do you know how many uncles I have lost? When I have lost my father, when I have lost my wife, when I have lost my children, are we on the same page? Your father is alive, your mother is alive. We are not on the same page. Your experience is different from my own. You have not even gone quarter to what I have gone through. So if you refuse to allow yourself, you see cigarettes, you write on it, smokers are liable to die young. But people smoke so much. Nobody dies to come back and tell us how it is. Nobody. So if we forecast our future, then we will be living in our yesterday. When I tell my friends that I can die at any time, they will say, why they wish yourself dead? But when I go home now, anything that I need to keep away from people that I keep it away, because in case I sleep and I don't wake up, then they come and discover that this guy do this guy do. I clear my legs. I clear my legs, because it's possible that I can die at any time. Because I have seen death. When I was in secondary school, I went to Barra College there. One of my Benue State boys died, and we were bringing him back. I was in the bus. I was in the coffin. That was long time ago. I followed the cops to the village. That time, I never experienced that. You understand? And then I have now experienced that very close to me. Very, very close to me. Bro, see, let me tell you something. Wife and children are like electric connectors. Anything that has to bring light is what is called, because if anything happened to your wife, except you are cheating on her or your children, except your heart is somewhere, or it will work on you. If you deal with your wife and children and you love your wife and you are faithful to your wife, I swear to God, even if you hit her leg, you will feel her. You will feel her where you did. I told you that nobody told me about my family's death. That spirit came to me, and I know what I see. I know what I know. Do you know what made me happy? My office employed a psychologist because they saw that I was going insane. And I appreciate my office so much. And the psychologist that came from Geneva didn't understand my situation because he's not from this part of the world. And there was a day the HR came to visit me and they say, I hope Mr. Andre is doing well with you. I said, no, it makes me cry. Because he tells me things that will cry. Just go and meet that person and talk generally as if nothing happened. Even if he's in the presence of more, just talk to him, nothing. But sorry, you lost your wife or you lost your children, or you are reflecting that person. Thank you. It is. So I try. Anywhere I go to, I talk to people. Like now I am talking to you, there's somebody that has been kidnapped in Kaduna. And they killed him in presence of his wife and children. Wow. Somebody called me on the phone. Wow. I'm trying to see how I can get to that family this morning as I'm talking to you now. You understand? Wow. So when you don't pass through processes, you don't know what it's like.
But what are you doing? What are you doing to heal?
I'm already healed. I'm already healed. That is why we're sitting here. And that is why I'm talking to you. If I was not healed, I won't be talking to you. The problem is...
Was there like a step to your healing? Like, can you describe were there certain things that you had to do to put your mind back on track?
Love leads. That is what kept me on track. Sweet memories. Sweet memories. If you watch I have a lot of videos with my family, with my children. Even on a Saturday, we went out, we brought mad organ, we were playing because I used to, when I was in secondary school, I was in the band section. So, mad organ, so that Saturday, I bought those mad organ for them. We're cruising, and there was a video I made. I said, I'm cruising around Abuja town with my children. I have that video. And then the next day they died. Sweet memories. Sweet memories. Don't hurt your partner. If you hurt your partner, apologize. Understand yourself. Nobody's perfect. These are the things that are keeping me moving. If I show you my phone now, is there. My wife's picture is my screensaver. I am not even thinking that she's dead. Because of the memories that I have lived in, and because she has already moved to Benue to support me here, I still feel like she's not here. If I was with her, although I have packed out of the house that I was with, because when I stay with her house, my wife will be at this corner, my child will be at this corner, I'll just be seeing them at the corners of the house. So I have decided to pack to my family house. To live with people that at least I will relate with them. They're not they're family.
Yes.
True love. Love leads. Good memories. If you want to survive death, the person that is dying, you must have sweet memories with that person. If the only thing that will satisfy you in somebody's death is when that person is dead and you know that you have lived a good life with that person. So those sweet memories are the ones that will keep you going. That is what is keeping me going.
Juliana, do you have anything to say? Sincerely.
When I lost my family, I have a lot of friends that are barristers and SAM and these are high court judges, magistrates. Some of them even say I should take federal government to court because of bad roads. Some people say I should take Benue State government. you know, kind of thing. But I'm a promising son of the soil.
Yes.
Tomorrow I can be nominated for any position in my state. And it will be in the record that I took the state to court. And then the company, under the leadership of the GM, who is a lady, she cried. She cried. She cried. You know, I could feel people's pains. You understand? The governor sent for me, and I was sitting with some of my friends that were more than the governor. And they said I shouldn't go and see the governor. But the governor was the number one citizen. So I told you, anybody in my place, anybody that calls you is above you, you have to come. Yeah. So I went to see the governor. The state gave my family a state burial. There was nothing that could bring them back. I was the only person that was wearing the shoes. When we went to the mortuary, the church followed me there. And normally you take the corpse to the church for prayers. And I said no. My wife was wearing a wig. I bought that wig for her like 9 years ago for 40,000. So that wig should be around 300,000-400,000 now. She was wearing that here. And when my daughter was asking me of her eyeglass in my dreams, she was also telling me about the hair. The reason why is because she wanted me to know what killed her. After taking them to the mortuary, the next day I went back to the mortuary. My wife was moving. So, I could see her shake her body. Then I now told the mortuary attendant, my wife didn't move on. So she wanted me, because she was placed different and my children were placed different. So she wanted the children together. Yeah, so I told the mortuary attendant that my wife didn't move on. So, you know, normally in the mortuary they will keep your hand like this, but then my wife's hand will all go down like this. So I now took the hand and put it back. And I asked the man that my wife is me. He said, "I lie, guy. Maybe because my children." And then she discovered that my wife. I said, guy, if you don't say they don't like no. Your wife, she will put her hand like this. Her hand. I see my wife say you should remove her head.
That's the wig.
The wig. So he removed the wig, and I saw what, you know, she had a deep cause inside her brain. That is what killed her. My wife cannot just die. What killed my wife was so drastic. Because even at the time of her death, she was also trying to talk to me when I told her I was coming back from there. So we removed the wig. When we removed the wig, because I was so touched, I didn't collect it. So it just took them 3 days in the mortuary before I took them for burial. Because that my friend Mr. Nekan that I traveled was ready. In fact, he gave me money. He said, "Guy, this is 500,000. I don't know how you're going to bury your family, but I don't know what to do about it. You have this money." And then the governor called me, gave me money. They have already arranged everything that I wanted, the government. Because this kind of death has not happened in my place. And of course, my father gave so much to humanity that he was the people who brought in Benue State Invest. And he was a primary school teacher, he was a secondary school teacher, he was a principal in so many secondary schools, so he has trained a lot of people. You know, so when you hear the name Jebe, in my place it rings a bell. So a lot of people stood by me. 3 days, 4 people in one day. So people don't know what is life. It's not about getting married and having children. There's more to that. If God has kept you alive. In my office there was an eradication and a lot of people were laid out. And then they say, you cannot lay this guy out. This guy already has gone through a lot. In every disadvantage, there is an advantage. The reason why my family died is because God wants me to educate people about life after death. And people to hold to their family in high esteem. I see a lot of broken marriages. My friend had a problem with his wife. They went to the church and the church made them divorce because they didn't listen to my friend. The pastor was just biased, like listening to the wife without looking at my friend. Well, of course, the guy and guy, but the guy too, he didn't calm down. Because if you calm down, you go to the pastor, you talk. For him too was not, you understand? So I don't encourage that. I see a lot of people that are married that they have their room, their wife have their room, they sleep separately. Some people live with their wives in their houses, but they don't communicate. You know,
yes, sir.
Some people, they just answer the name because of the children. You understand? People don't really try to improve from other people's fault. This is my fault. I'm this guy. I've been lured into this. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry is so hard for some people. People are so hard to say I'm sorry. So the situation I have found myself inside today is for me to see how I can tell people about life. Please, hold your wife very tight. Your wife, hold your husband very tight. There's no way. Now, I started a foundation for emergency trauma cases, where I identify with people who their families have lost their lives in motor accident and all that. And because I don't have finances to pay school fees, I have a vocational training center like here.
Yes.
And then I also partner with my friends who are in different kind of vocational training center. Good, you know what happened? The husband will die and leave a wife. Now maybe they will start hawking granite. The wife will buy granite, give to the daughter. The daughter will take it to the street and she's hawking granite. And as she's selling that granite, people are touching her breasts. And then the friends of the husband that were already liking this one will not be coming back and say, we'll take care of it, this and that. They will convince them, and then sometimes they will lure them into sexual intercourse. They will get them pregnant and leave them with more
problems.
And then some of them will even infect them with disease. And then there's more problem to them. So I also go into advocacy.
Wow, that's really awesome.
Yeah, for seeing how child abuse. Some people go into hockey not because it is their will, it's because the breadwinner have been taken away.
Yes, sir.
And for that reason, people don't understand what they go through. They only come to take advantage.
Yeah.
But you know, in this Nigeria now, nobody will want to identify with you until you make it. The past government, I wrote a proposal to, I don't want to call the ministry. I wrote a proposal to the government and to build an emergency unit on the federal highway at each 50 kilometer. Like now, like this 50 kilometer, you see emergency, 50 kilometers, you see emergency, and then government hospitals to let's work with government hospitals, and then let the government give us land. We have a lot of containers in the port. Bring those containers, give us police, give us civil defense. We had people who were ready to give us medicine. There's a player that the mother died in the motor accident. The mother died because of lack of oxygen. He's a player, he's a high player, DJ Drogba.
Yeah.
So Drogba was ready to build oxygen plant for us. And the money was voted for the government to us to buy ambulances on because our proposal was Abuja to Makurdi. So at each 50 kilometers, as emergency unit, the hospitals and those places will serve as clinics to those communities.
Yeah.
That money was actually given, but it didn't reach us.
It disappeared.
We even went and begged. So okay, if you cannot buy those ambulances for us, just buy a normal bus. Let us construct.
Yeah.
It never got to us. So in this country, nobody is ready to help. They want you to make it so that they will identify with you. Nobody. My family died because of lack of medical care.
So, sir, lastly, what is your message? What is your final message to families?
Like I said before, I will still say it again. If I'm your girlfriend, we're just getting to know each other. There's so much that you need to give to me for me to allow you into my life. I know women, they are easily convinced. Most women love lies. And if you're a man that sweet talks, that is what women like. Now, you lure a woman into your life. She gives you her heart because they give in totality. And that is not who you are. You came to deceive. Your real you is there. And by the time you get this woman, she's married to you, and she gives you her best. Because you are not real, you cannot contain it. Your true color must show. Your true color must show. So men should stop taking advantage of women, and women should stop taking advantage of men. If a man is your man for real. If your man is not your man, it's not your man. And I wish that everybody understands that relationship is different from marriage. When you are married, you have to contain. I told you about my wife, reporting me to my mom that I gave her one. I said, don't do it, let's have to settle this thing between us. She listened to me. Nobody can solve your problem, not even your pastor. If you take your problem to your pastor will escalate it. I know so many pastors that I have a colleague in the office, his pastor is married to his wife. He was taking his problem to the pastor.
Wow.
And the pastor was solving his problem. You understand? I also have a friend that the imam of his mosque is married to his wife. I even have a problem that the herbalist, that a child started behaving abnormal. The woman took the child to the herbalist. Now the woman is now married to the herbalist. So you don't take your problem to anybody.
Resolve it.
As you are with your wife, no matter how hot you are, please
resolve your issues.
Resolve your issue with your wife. No matter how hot it is. Once you take it to your friend, it has been escalated. So what God has joined together, let us not allow emotions, feelings, jealousy, hatred to destroy. So for every man out there that is married, when you get to know each other, you know your faults. When you are just dating, there are a lot of things that are hidden. But when you are married together, the life is now exposed. So we know ourselves. So let us not hold our mistakes against ourselves. Let us only build. And that is very perfect.
Wow.
You are married to me now. I am bedwetting. When I sleep, I urinate on the bed. Then you are going to tell your friends, say my husband urinate for that bed.
This thing at all.
You know,
It doesn't make sense at all.
you are transferring signal. Or maybe my husband is a thief. A woman that loves you, even if you are a criminal, when you steal like this, police is looking for you, and she will hide you under the bed. I say, I've not seen my husband for 2 weeks.
Wow.
So that is my message. God forbid, if it happens that your wife goes down before you, you're in trouble. Especially if you are being rude to her. That's where death pains. Death pains when you have regrets. If I knew I would have done this. If I knew I would have done this. I would have been good to my wife. I would have been good to my children. That is where the pain of death is. You understand? But when you are so faithful to your partner, the sweet memories overtake the absence. As of the time you start thinking about the absence of your family, the love that you share will supersede. So that is where death pains, regret. If I knew, there was a day I was closing for my office, so somebody asked me of 500. I had just 300 on me. That was what I had, and I promised the guy that, oh, I'm sorry, no, I don't have anything on me, but I'll give you money on Monday. I swear to God, that guy went and died. That was a security in my office.
Wow.
And I have lived with that guilt. But the fortunate thing is, the facility manager employed a child of the guy who died. So when I was passing, I said, you guys have a new security guy. I said, that much picking. I now decided to pay him back.
Wow.
Because anytime I see that boy, it reminds me of the day I couldn't give the father that 500 that would have still kept him alive. It was on a Friday or Monday I came to work and he was there. And as I'm talking to you now, till today, I have married a wife and I'm giving to that boy. And that is my son. That is, I told him, it's my son. You are my son. So I have used the sweet moments with the child to supersede the bad memories that I had with the father shortly before he died. But I have not told the child that this is my experience. Maybe if I had given him that 500, it would have saved him a lot. He came and met me, but I just had 300 home and abroad. And it was weekend. I said, I don't get you. No verse. You understand, ba? So the sweet memories with families are the ones that keeps us alive. Nothing more. That is not money. It's not silver. It's not gold. It's just your contentment. What you are able to contain. What you are able capacity. You see, when you are able to build your family, we men, we are just ceremonial heads of the house. It's the women that are head of house. Because the things that happen around the house, you are not there. So it is the reaction that you get when you come back, you are okay with it. If the house is calm, the house is calm. If the house is on fire, you know that your wife can't contain it. But there are a lot of excesses that are contained in the house without letting you know. So we men, we are just ceremonial heads. And those women in the house, you have to respect them. You understand? So a woman is a better person to invest in. If you invest in your wife, even if she leaves you, or even if you are dead and she's married to another man, she will never leave her children.
Yeah, true.
But if you invest in your children, they will get married and their children will not like their mom, and you leaving the mother suffer and all that. You understand? But when you invest in your wife, you see, even my boxer, as I'm talking to you now, I can show you so many things that I have that I need to go to court and swear affidavit that I was married to this woman, I'm the one who did this, I under her, that kind of thing, but because I know that it is better. When you want to give your son what he is, but everything that revolves around you has to do with your wife. Everything that revolves around you has to do with your wife. If you divorce your wife now, or if you die now and leave your wife will still get her children. That is blood. You can't separate it. You can't separate it. But if you don't listen, there's somebody who died and we respect him. On the day of burial, another woman brought her children. It was playing away match. The marriage, the burial became something else. What kind of impression are you leaving
behind?
Trauma, fighting over assets. You understand? And then sometimes the children to the other woman who might be even older than the one that you are married to. His problem. And then the guy comes out and he's being introduced as the first child. And the one that is legally married is my husband not married. I have a situation where somebody married to somebody for like 20 years before the person discovered that the man had other children somewhere. Sweet memories. Nobody has died and come back to tell us how it is. But if when you say rest in peace, you rest with the sweet memories of life, with the tolerance, with the accommodation of partnership. My husband, they do like this, but he can be a better person. He's better than you. Let me listen to him. A second chance. But this generation, they don't have second chance. Once they know that you are this, they hold it against you. It's just like I'm a thief now. Everybody knows that I'm a thief. I'm here. Somebody went and stole the other side. And then they are relating to me, say, I want to check this other guy because even a thief, or maybe if you know that thief. You understand, but good name is better than riches. You have a lot of money like this. Nobody. But when you have good name, it's better than riches. I was with one man, say, I removed money from my pocket and I put it in my trouser. And I didn't understand. He was building a school. And I came for him to give me contract to sew uniforms for him. And he said, I removed money in my pocket and I put it in my trouser. And I didn't understand him. It was later that I understood that everybody that was building for him was from his village.
So the circulating.
They come out money from pocket.
Yeah.
The money is
still within.
So me, I'm coming from somewhere else. I'm not his family. If I give him, if he gives me money, I will take the money to my own. So for that reason, what I want to do now, there are people in his place that can do it. So why am I giving it to you? Say my brother. So when I die, they will go and bury me in that village, and then that guy will be in that village. Say, this is the man who made me who I am. But you know that kind of thing, but that is what he does. If you go to his filling stations, village people. If you go to he's a very rich man, but everybody that work for him is from his village or from the wise village. Although he helps people outside because he needs professional hands. Yeah. So other people come professionally. That is professionally. But like hot staff.
As far as he cannot find it in his village. But if he can find that skill set around him.
Like him. Yeah. He said, I'm coming to you. No more him.
No, that's horrible. I put money for my pocket.
I put that for my trouser pocket. So, you know that kind of thing. He has empowered a lot of people in his village. So, even if he's not contesting for any election or he's not holding a position, but at least families will talk about him.
Yeah, the memories.
Yes, and sometimes it's from one thatch house that he has helped somebody that is helping the family in the village that the government wouldn't have recognized. He said, if not because of Joseph, this will not happen. Those are the sweet memories. Pride. Pride is problem. I am this is problem. You know who I be? It's problem. It's problem. We reduce ourselves to the final level of life. And God will talk to you. That is why when they say, go church, go this, go that. I never go church for a long time. Sometimes my work is on Sundays. But the amount of church in me is greater and people who go to church. When I go to church, I will just be crying. I don't know why I used to cry. I see families, I see wife, I see father, I see the husband is sitting with the wife and children. Sometimes when people are not even talking in the house, when they come to church, they will be doing family. You see family, see wife and children, I will just be like, oh, this is what I've always passed through. There was a day I was crying in church. I was crying like this. My eyeglass was holding the tears, but it started falling out like this. So I didn't even know that. So, somebody was looking at me. As somebody just tapped me from behind and gave me a handkerchief. I was so disappointed with myself. The inspiration. Say go church. They don't understand. My house is in Asoko Road. There's a hotel just by my house, Springview Hotel. They have a hall, church there. That is where I fellowship. I don't go to that church, but I fellowship in that church. Because as early as 7 o'clock, you start hearing them. And so I will enter the church, I go there my room and there's a church. I even feel the presence of God more than the people that are in that church. But your wife, don't show me, Saber. I'm supposed to go to church, so I will start to go to church. There's one church in 8 years that I want to start going. I'll go there. Because everybody that talks to me say, go to the church, you find a wife. Go to the church, you find a wife. But because of sexual harassment in my office, I'm even scared of. You get so many girls where they give me signal, but I know when they sign me for work because I don't know who is there. True. Maybe your boss 9 days there. Then something, they will not be signing your contract. You will not know because you engage yourself. In one place, you understand. So I want to start going to church properly. Yes, sir. Because I want my wife.
God is going to provide that person that you would still generate a whole lot more memories with.
All the gay friends where I get, they abuse me. They insult me. They're always insulting me. So when I get that person, I will surprise the whole world. I'll just list the number of my girlfriends. I'll just list their names. I will list their names with their father's name. If possible, even local government. I'll list their names and say, these are my girlfriends. From today onward, this is my girlfriend. For that reason, I have found a wife.
Let's do some publicity for them. Wow.
I am inside hell. Hold on. I am just. In fact, it's this way that I started living. For some time, I'll just be existing, just floating on the air like this. I wake up, I don't even know what I want. There are some families that have helped me so much. I don't want to mention their names here because they are great people. I know a particular woman in my office. That woman. God bless her. She come to work, she will look for me. I found a guy now. What did they do about you? You know that guy that's there? Till today. I said, this one, my mother and this guy, so she'll bring food in the office like this. Before she want to eat the food, she must call me. Come on, you know that kind of thing, right? So people have so much helped me in this life. People have stood by me. For that reason, I have a lot to give back to you. I have a lot of people that were involved in the motor accident that were amputated, that have given them hand, that have given them leg. There's one guy that was in a wheelchair, and he went into making shoes, and after finished making shoes, I asked him, what next? I now opened a shop for him. There was a day I visited the village, and he didn't allow me to come into his house. And I was like, what happened? So when I sent him on our page, one Alhaji in Lafia bought machine for him. So he was on a wheelchair, so they will now bought machine for him. So this machine that will have leg, so the girl now love him.
People are now liking him now.
So he now impregnated the girl. So when I visited him, he was so ashamed of himself that he didn't want me to enter his house. There was a woman in his house. So I forced myself inside. When I entered, I was see, what happened now? He said, I'm thinking that maybe I said no, I'm happy for you.
Wow.
When you were rolling on the floor now, this woman for not come now. Now you can make shoes and you have a bike, and you have a house. So this babe now, I'm happy. And then when I look at those people, I say, my children, if I start having children now, the people that look onto me now, their children will be my children's seniors. So you see what I'll go through? Imagine that your child is supposed to be like 23 years now. And you know that you have that child. And all of a sudden, you now have a child that is just 1 year or just 1 week old. One of the children that you knew with your children that are that age. And then you are the kind of father that you're so good at people and daddy, this one beat me, or this one. And now they are the ones that are beating your children. Like my younger brother now, if I have children, he has 5 boys. Because he wanted to have a girl, so he has been pumping and he has 5. And Tinubu now came and caught him with his comment. So he will now know that to having 5 children. So now like this, if I have a child now like this, my younger brother's child is like 18 years. Because I married more than 8 years before he got married. That kind of thing. Those are the things that I face, or in my village. It will surprise you that when I lost my family, to be an African is hard. If you find yourself in Africa, Africa is a place with a lot of heritage. Do you know that when I lost my family, my uncles in the village that didn't like my father say that I killed my family to make money. So they summoned me. The elder in my community told me not to come because they have poisoned something. So that let me come and take an oath. I'll get mad. But everyone was that threw a kid. So, but because God sees the heart. You see, God has spared me so much that I encourage people. I have an interview with NTA tomorrow. They sent me, I will show you. They sent me in that invitation. NTA International. Tomorrow I have interview. 7 a.m. Tomorrow I have interview with NTA. This same thing. So I'm just rehearsing. The same thing. Because they want me. Let me talk to people. I went to the village. My mother was crying because she knew that something will happen. But God gave me wisdom. When I was marrying my wife, I was the one who transported my uncles to my wife's village. I'm the one who even gave them. I bought the uniforms and I sold the uniforms for them. And God ask them, these children will die for this motto when I became that inside. They said no. This my wife that is dead, is she related to you people? They said no. I said, when I was marrying this woman, did you people contribute money? I said no. I said, this thing that you people are asking me is supposed to be my wife's people that will be asking me, why do I have to kill their daughter? True. So for this reason, you that is asking me this question, you are the ones that have killed my family. That is how those village boys started beating those people. Because I have also done so many things to people like that. I scattered village. At the end of the day, I slept in the nearby town. I came back the next day in the village and I told my uncles that my father is older than all of you. For that reason, I take the position of my father. From today onward, I am not. If you look at me as your senior brother.
Yeah.
See, today my uncle's for village. Don't talk to me. Who are you now? You bring yourself so low to go tell me say I keep my family back. So you do concussion so that I should take and then get mad or something you happen to me. And you want me to look at you as my uncle? No. You my junior brother. Till today, if I go my village, I don't blow a lie. My uncles, now my junior brothers and me. Who they be? God gave me that wisdom.
In fact, I don't know how you were able to spin that off.
Like that guy I told you I was working with, the governor I told you I was working with, you know, I was always dragging things to my place, boreholes, renovation of schools and all that. So my village people knew me. So when immediately I mentioned that these people and then be the people who kill my family, they were already in the bad books. Started enter them because people they see within and they begin to enter them. They beat the hell out of them. Even the chief priests run. The calabash. Don't even know where to throw the calabash. That is what I went through.
Yeah.
That is what I went through in life.
You can imagine in that place of pain, people are still. I would have expected that they are coming to commiserate with you, to encourage you. Then people are thinking of an entirely different.
On the day of the burial, there's one of my uncle who made us to sell one land. He gave us the reasons why we should sell that land. And then, because the money that was involved was enough just to sell that small piece of land and then survey the whole land and put beacons. So losing just 100 and 100 out of 1,000 and 1,000 was a very small thing. Not knowing that that particular place that we wanted to sell belongs to our late uncle's, you understand? After selling the house, problem there. Even the beacons that we're supposed to fix, it became problem. I share those are the people. They never loved my father. You know, Africa, they always have that. You can be brother to brother like this, different love altogether. There are some brothers that don't even flow together. True. You can be in some families like this, your brother and your brother. You can never flow together. I have a friend that was in a boarding school. So because he was having prep uniform, Danny uniform, all those uniform, the brother was in the house, so they were buying clothes for his brother. Anytime he comes for holiday, he'll be wearing his brother's clothes. And the brother can follow him anywhere. If he just go like this, wear his brother's clothes and just lie by the tree, the brother will remind him and say, "Guy, my clothes you wear. You got to put for your clothes for yourself for a war." You know that kind of thing. Brothers, I know brothers that they are not friends, and I know brothers that are friends, even within family. So this also has taught me a lot of lessons. When you marry your wife automatically is the person that needs to hold your family. If you marry a wife, sometimes your brothers will be trying your wife, your sisters will be trying your wife, your mother will be trying your wife. But I've tried as much as possible not to support my wife in public. Yes, if you are my brother and you are challenging my wife, I will not support my wife in public. I'll support my brother. I will scold my wife. Why do you have to do this?
Is there a reason for that?
Yes, there's a reason. The reason is there are impressions that you cannot erase. There are feelings that you cannot erase. If you shout at your brother in the presence of your wife, your brother, because he does not have the kind of understanding that you have, he will feel insulted and intimidated for life. So there is going to be a hatred on your wife. It will pass to your children, to the children. Your brother will tell your children that is the kind of person that you are. But even if your wife is right and you support your brother in public and you tell your wife that you have faults, don't do this kind of nonsense. Get away, my friend. And then you allow your wife to go and then you meet her in the bedroom and you need her and I say, my darling, I'm very sorry. I did that simply because make my brother think say I like and pass you. It's because I don't want him to hate you. Now he will be thinking that I like him pass more than you. And I lie. This is our plan. Forget about him. Then you meet your brother and say, this is my wife. Don't ever in your life try. I respect you because I don't want to disrespect you where my wife is. But the next time this thing happens between you and my wife, I will not take it lightly. Now, both of them doesn't know. Your brother doesn't know that you are communicating with your wife, but your wife knows that you are communicating with your brother.
Yeah.
For that reason, he will be feeling so important, and your wife will be looking at him as a fool because you have already told him that this is my brother. And I'm with you, and I support him because I don't want him to hate you. Now he's feeling that he's in charge, but me and you are together, so you know that this is your brother. So anything that you are doing with your wife, you make it sealed so that your brother cannot come in between. So that is how people are supposed to handle it. You women too should learn how to understand that. Let them always come back to their husbands. No matter what it is, come back to your husband. The bedroom talk. I think somebody sang a song and says, sometimes a man says things that he doesn't really mean. I am sorry, baby. Bring your love back to me. A man can just say a lot of things to you in public that he doesn't mean. I went somewhere with my pastor, and the pastor, the pastor's wife had did something, and the pastor was very angry. And in fact, I could see the pastor vibrating. I could see all the hair standing like this. I said, Julia, I'm not happy with you, but I'm not complaining. We'll get home. I will quarrel you. He has passed the message. The pastor didn't want to come out in public for people to say, you are a pastor, now why are you quarreling your wife? Because people are learning from him. But he told her to relieve himself that I don't like what you did. When I get home, I will quarrel you. And we were able to learn lesson that you cannot go quarrel your wife in public. Just let her know that I'm not happy what you did, but when we get home, we'll talk about it. Yeah, so a wife is supposed to accept the relationship of the husband's people, because you cannot do away with them. Your husband can die tomorrow and leave you. Because of the relationship you have with your brothers, they will start fighting you. It depends on culture. Some culture you can't do that, but mostly in Africa, when you die and you leave your wife and you are somebody who have a lot of property, there's tendency that your brothers who are not maids, they come to look for trouble. They will definitely come to look for trouble. So women should also be able to accommodate what men pass through, because men to go through a lot. There is the women that push their husband outside. It's the women that push their husband outside. A woman who cannot listen will push her husband outside. There's a woman that the husband was made a governor of a club, this kind of Rotary club. So they were having he has incentive, so he closes from work and knows that if I go here, I'll eat food as a president. And so he comes back late. This one, they give the husband a problem. So when the Reverend Father blessed 150 liters of water I gave her, say, anytime your husband come, I'll put it in your mouth, don't talk. The husband started thinking, I mean, my wife said, don't they do errands? Make her they come out, I'll cook house. So sometimes psychologically, you know how to deal with things. Women should not follow men aggressively. If you know that you don't want to lose that relationship, then you should be able to hold it and contain it. You know, no, if even your husband is doing you wrong, always tell him that. And guy, why they do like this? You know, we men, we don't listen immediately. We listen after. If you are talking to a man now, a man will not listen to you. But when he sits and starts thinking about it, that is when he draws his senses. So by the time he is trying to come close to you, if you have not forgiven him, you will push him away more. And then some other ladies outside there trying to see how he can impress him. That's where the wahala comes from. So women should accept their marital status and know that they are not going anywhere. For that reason, and no matter what your husband does, be patient. Don't use anger issues to destroy, because most of the marriages that are destroyed now is because of anger issues. And then women should not be telling their friends, guy, My husband they cheat on me now. Ah, okay, you might cheat on him now.
Never worked. It has never worked out that way.
A secretary called the boss to meet somewhere because the boss contracted. They asked the secretary to get a good car for the wife because the wife they have a 10 years marriage. So the way the secretary dropped the message, the wife felt that the husband is cheating on her. So the husband now told the secretary that he's going for a meeting and it will take him 1 week. So with the message she got from the husband phone, because I don't like women that looks into men's phone because it's problem. There are some women that you just flow with them just to pass. There are, like you are passing a bridge and you are meeting 3 women or 4 women. I swear to God, if you don't admire them, they can cut that bridge for you. So in the process of you're a beautiful woman, you are this, you are that, and maybe sending text messages, if you don't have a woman in the house that is capable of understanding, but you can take it that you're having a relationship with those women. But any woman that you don't show love to will not give you what you want. Just take it from me. Any woman that you meet and you don't say, mom, you're looking fine, you're so beautiful, will not take you serious. If you are straight to the point, the woman will take you straight to the point. Like you are working in the same office and you are admiring your colleagues, you are looking beautiful, you are giving them compliments. Doesn't mean that you have a relationship with them. The compliment that you are giving to them can build up confidence in them to tell you some secret.
True.
It doesn't mean that you have a relationship with them. And if your wife gets to know that this is the woman for your office, now this kind of relationship that you have is because she has decided to upload her stress on you. And that is what I encourage you not to do. Take your problems to your husband and talk it up, so that you will not create avenues for suspicion. Don't feel too big. Husband, don't feel too big to your wife. Don't feel too big to apologize. Because if tomorrow you know that your problem or your problem,